Toward the end of this challenging year, we bore the sad news that our beloved faculty member and past president, Henrik Enderlein, had passed away at the age of 46. A distinguished scholar of political economy, Henrik was a defining member of our community since its inception. He joined the Hertie School as a founding faculty member in 2005 and served in many capacities as Associate Dean, Program Director of the Master of Public Policy, and as Program Director of Executive Education. As president from 2018 to 2021, Henrik initiated an ambitious and future-oriented plan to develop the university's research and teaching capacity, establishing 5 new centers of competence and a data science lab, and expanding our faculty by a third. As a professor, he was prolific in supporting the work of PhD researchers. We are immensely fortunate to have benefited from Henrik's inspiring leadership, his deep commitment to the field of governance and public policy, his insightful contributions to European public debate, and of course his singular wit and charm. Passionate about the European project, he was also the founder and director of the Jacques Delors Center and a trusted sparring partner for leaders across the continent. We have lost a dear friend, but his legacy will continue through the people who make up the Hertie School, through our research and teaching, and through our work for the common good. Henrik embodied Hertie love through his unwavering support for our entire community, but especially you, our students, and now graduates. We hope you take the spirit with you too.
Listen to me. There's something you should know if you want to go with me. When I was a little boy around 4, I fell in love with something that I still adore. It isn't here, but it's like gold to me. It shines bright and tenderly. Hey, don't you see? Here the taters falling long and hot, and that salt, powder, nutmeg, and some milk on top. Yes, I am thinking about my favorite dish that I am praising with my mashed potatoes fry. Oh, da 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 ba da ba da. Oh, da 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 ba da ba da da. Now I'm grown up, nearly 34. I left my hometown behind and took the days of yore. But when I eat it now, I feel the same, and I start humming my old mashed potatoes fry.
Dear students, dear family members, members of our Board of Trustees, our Supervisory Board, our faculty, our alumni, and our administrative team, and friends of the Hertie School. On behalf of the entire Hertie School leadership, our faculty, and our administrative teams, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our celebration of the class of 2021. I'm joined today by Dean of Graduate Programs Christina Ray and Dean of Faculty and Research Mark Kaiser. Well, no doubt today's celebration looks just a little different, but I hope that over the next hour we will come together to reflect, to celebrate, and to recognize the amazing accomplishments of the class of 2021, and that we take a moment to connect despite the fact that we are tuning in from all corners of the globe. I want to start by saying how incredibly proud I am of each and every one of you. Completing your degree under such challenging circumstances is no small feat. I know many of you struggled with the effects of isolation, with personal tragedy, or perhaps with illness. The pandemic was often a distraction and sometimes hindered your ability to focus on your assignments or readings. That we are gathered together today to celebrate the conclusion of your studies is therefore all the more meaningful. On behalf of the entire Hertie School community, many heartfelt congratulations and a job well done. Well, I know that many of you came to the Hertie School, here to Berlin, to study indeed in the heart of Europe and to shape history in a city that has witnessed so many defining moments and that has such a deep history itself. I know that's certainly what drew me to this city more than 30 years ago as a student. It's also what drew me back when I joined the Hertie School in 2007 as a faculty member. Well, one of those defining historical moments was made during a speech by an American president, by John F. Kennedy, in which he proudly declared, "Ich bin ein Berliner." Now, he spoke about the Berlin Wall at the time as well, which, and I quote from him, separated families, divided husbands and wives and brothers and sisters, and divided a people who wished to be joined together. Well, there are few traces of that wall that are left in Berlin today, and few physical reminders of the Cold War and the fight for democratic freedom. And yet there's still many divisions, many barriers across our societies, ones that we want to confront together. And as a small reminder of your time at the Hertie School, of your time here in Berlin, each of you will receive a small piece of the wall. I also hope that it will serve as a reminder to keep pushing barriers, to keep tearing down walls. Indeed, that's something about this class I'd like to comment on. Many of you have already taken this reminder, in fact, to heart. You've advocated and promoted change across the organizations that you work in, and indeed across our own institution. That means that the class of 2021 is no stranger to breaking down barriers, to confronting divisions, and to advocating for social change. I look forward to continuing the work we have started to ensure that the Hertie School is an inclusive, welcoming, and safe space for academic debate and discussion. And while your graduation signals an end to your time as students, it also signals a beginning to your time as an alumni of the university. I hope to see many of you remain involved in our school's development and growth, that you not only help shape the institutions and the organizations for which you will work in the future, but that you will come back to the Hertie School and take an active role in pushing us forward.
Dear Hertie School graduates, congratulations. You have achieved so much, and now go out and change the world for better, because we need your ideas and your courage. And please never listen to the naysayers who tell you that things can't be changed, because they can, and you can do that.
Well, thank you to friends of the Hertie School for contributing your supportive remarks to the class of 2021. Another distinguished and vocal friend of the Hertie School is our next speaker, our commencement speaker for this year's graduation celebration. Anne-Marie Slaughter is no stranger to the Hertie School. She has been an active member of our community since our founding. She's been closely involved in shaping our mission, and she was awarded the Michael Enders Prize in 2018, recognized for her tireless work for connecting academia, civil society, and policymaking. In 2018, Professor Slaughter reflected on her work bridging these three sectors, and I quote from her, "We need all three to solve our public problems." Well, her words ring true even today, especially as we consider the type of economies, societies, and institutions we wish to shape in a post-pandemic world. Well, Professor Slaughter is the CEO of the Think and Action Tank, New America. She is the Bert Kerstetter 66th University Professor Emerita of Politics and International Affairs at Princeton. And from 2009 to 2011, she served as Director of the Policy Planning for the United States Department of State. She was the first woman to hold that position. Upon leaving the State Department, she received the Secretary's Distinguished Service Award for work leading the Quadrennial Diplomacy and Development Review, as well as Meritorious Service Awards from USAID and the Supreme Allied Commander for Europe. Prior to her government service, Professor Slaughter was the Dean of Princeton University's School of Public and International Affairs. We are honored that she is celebrating with us today.
Greetings to you all, President Hollerberg, Dean Kaiser, Dean Ray, and former President Enderlein, members of the board, faculty, staff, families, and above all, you, the graduates. I am deeply honored to be able to address you. I feel a very special connection to the Hertie School for many reasons, but also because I had the chance to talk to and teach some of you as the Michael Endres Prize winner in 2019. You will forever be defined as pandemic graduates, pandemic students. But I think a better way to think about it is as pandemic veterans. Veterans of a calamity, of a global, national, organizational, and highly personal event in world history. Veterans who have come through something profound and life-changing together. I do not equate learning by Zoom with facing guns on a battlefield. But like veterans, you have faced loss and grief and the many social, economic, and political repercussions of loss and grief across society. And above all, like veterans, you share an experience that will mark you in your own eyes with regard to one another at future reunions and in the eyes of society. Your children and maybe even your grandchildren will ask about the pandemic, the time when the world shut down and everything changed. The key question for all of you, both immediately in terms of can you get jobs and what jobs and where and how you will work and live, so both personally and societally, is how much will change as a result of this moment and how will we change it? The patterns of our lives and work and consumption have been changed over the last 18 months. Habits are hard to break and even harder to form. We have done both. But what now? We need sweeping change. We have a chance to build on the many changes that we have made in our behavior. Many of these changes have been available to us for decades, but we were adopting them far too slowly. Changes in how we consume energy, in where and how we live, in what work we see as essential enough to value and pay for, in how we relate to one another, and in the value of care and community over consumption and competition. We need change that is far greater than reform but short of revolution. Change that is in between restoration on the one hand and reinvention on the other. In the remainder of my time, I want to suggest that we need renewal, a kind of change that brings about a genuinely new world, but is nevertheless still anchored in the past. Renewal looks backwards and forwards at the same time. Re looks backwards. New looks forwards. We must do both at the same time. We must look back and face our pasts with radical honesty. Face our pasts in ourselves, our organizations, and our countries. When I was growing up, I thought that truth, reconciliation, and reparations were for countries like Germany or South Africa. Now I understand that they are also for the United States, Europe, and really probably all countries. We can only go forward if we not only face the past, but keep facing it. This is not like a renovation where we rip out what is old and ugly and dangerous and throw it away. We must put the reminders of that past where we can still see and remember them every day, like the Holocaust Memorial here in Berlin, right at the center of the city. I want to give you 3 lessons of renewal, of how to do it. These are drawn from my own experience of crisis and transformation. As a leader, I went through a deep crisis in 2017. Many people have gone through things that are far worse, but all of you will likely go through something like this at some point in your lives. An external event that deeply shakes your internal confidence and faith in who you are and leads you to ask big questions about whether you are who you think you are and want to be. The first of these lessons is to run toward the criticism. And if you remember nothing else today, I hope you will take away that advice. When things were crumbling around me, I called a board member and said, "What do I do?" And he said, "Run toward the criticism." He said, if you're having an argument with a friend or your spouse and you think they are 98% wrong and maybe only 2% right, focus on that 2%. Focus on the criticism, accept it, learn from it, grow and change. We have to do that as individuals. When you have a boss and you need feedback, insist that you get honest feedback. Don't let other people's worries about how you feel get in the way of the information you need to grow and to learn. We need to do that as organizations, and many of us are going through that process right now, hearing things we don't want to hear but need to hear, and we need to do that as countries. The second lesson is to lead from the center and the margin. Many of you who heard me when I was there in 2019 heard me talk about hierarchies versus webs, the latter where power flows from the top versus the web where power flows from the center. In the latter, we exercise power over people. In the web, we exercise power with people. And I've thought a lot about how to lead from the center. But what I now understand is that is not good enough. When we lead from the center, we also have to lead from the margin. Leading from the center means focusing on the periphery of that web, focusing on the people who are furthest away from the center, asking them what they think, listening to what they have to say, and continually moving them as close to the center as possible, ensuring that everyone in that web is equally treated and equally respected. So run toward the criticism, lead from the center and the margin. And the third lesson is to share power. If we are to avoid revolution, then we have to step down or at least move over. That we includes so many different groups, including all of you. It includes older people like me. We have to step down or at least move aside. White people like me. We have to step down or at least move aside. Traditionally pedigreed people like me and like all of you, that you are here in this audience today getting a Hertie degree means you have already made it by the standards of millions and billions. You are receiving a top flight degree from a top flight institution. You are headed for the corridors of power. You must think about now how to share that power. Europeans, Americans, and European Americans, also like me, must again share power, step down, or at least move aside. And also to people who are not like me, men in every group, the men who have traditionally held power, you too have to step down or move aside. But how do we do this? We can actually cede our jobs. We can retire early. We can find a way to let somebody else take the spotlight. We can split our jobs. I used to be president and CEO. Today, I am CEO of New America, and I have a president who is a partner. We can create leadership teams and councils and other forms of collective leadership that open the circle to many more people. And we can find ways to be truly inclusive, not just with respect to the people who are below us or behind us, as we traditionally think about leadership, but the people all around us, and in how we actually think about what power is and how we exercise it. So congratulations to you all. Go forth as Hertie graduates and pandemic veterans. Go forth and renew yourselves, your organizations, your countries, and the world. Go forth and run toward the criticism. Go forth and lead from the center and the margin. Go forth and share power as widely as possible. The pandemic has shaped your education. Let its possibilities shape your world. Congratulations.
Thank you to Professor Slaughter for those inspiring remarks, and we welcome them wholeheartedly. Thank you. I am Mark Kaiser. I am Dean of Research and Faculty here at the Hertie School. One of my responsibilities as Dean here, as part of the job, is that I'm responsible for the PhD program. And so in that context, I would like to congratulate all of the class of 2021's graduates with a PhD. Before I go into reading the names, however, I would like to perhaps start off with a personal anecdote of my time shortly after I earned my PhD. Actually, I think I was still ABD. I hadn't filed my PhD yet. And I was on the job market for my very first job talk in the United States at a place called Washington University in St. Louis. And I was in a meeting with a professor there in his office. In the middle of our meeting, right, it was probably a half an hour meeting, he climbed up his bookshelf. There was a full wall bookshelf to the top left corner and pulled down this old dusty volume and slapped it down on the table in front of me and very proudly flipped through the pages and found the first page of text, pointed to the very first sentence, and showed me a spelling mistake. There it was. In his first sentence of his dissertation, he had made a mistake and misspelt a word. And he connected this to a story that he told me that I've actually never forgotten, which is well, the way he expressed it was, there's only two types of dissertations: finished and not finished. What I take away from that is the larger picture is that it's important to know what matters and not to sweat the things that don't matter. It's a very important skill in life that all of you now finishing your dissertations and completing your PhD here at the Hertie School can hopefully learn as you embark on your careers. Another thing that matters that I hope you take away from your time here at the Hertie School is not just a sense of resilience that you've all displayed in these difficult times of the pandemic, but also an understanding that community leads to resilience. That you are not in this alone, although sometimes it felt like that. That you were in this together as part of our doctoral program with all of the people you see here sitting, well, you would be sitting next to each other, completing your dissertations at the same time. People you will know, very likely for the rest of your lives, part of your professional circles, and a community that extends all the way back to the Hertie School, that hopefully you'll also stay active and connected to us when you embark on your careers and remain an active member of the Hertie community. And may it, this connection, provide all of you with resilience.
Dear class of 2021, I want to say, of course, congratulations, but I also want to say overwhelmingly and emphatically a huge thank you to each of you. Thank you for an incredible 2 years that I won't soon forget. Because for me, coming to a School of Governance in Berlin, even in a time such as Corona, has been immeasurable and surprising and overwhelming, but in the end, it was everything that I wanted from my education, and maybe a bit more. I don't know what set of personal and unique circumstances brought each of you to the Hertie School and into Berlin, but I can imagine that they weren't far from my own. I wanted to come to Berlin for my master's because I wanted to have an international perspective on public policy and not just one from the United States. I had spent time traveling in the year before I came to Berlin, and I knew there was so much more that I wanted to learn and understand, and more people that I wanted to meet before I returned home. And I suspect that many of you came to Berlin for the exact same reasons. Our studies were unfortunately abruptly interrupted because of the coronavirus pandemic, and for that reason, it's been really easy to focus on everything that we lost because of it. It's been extremely hard to study under these conditions, taking classes online, and it's been easy to focus on what was taken from us in the 1.5 years that we had to spend doing that. This was a time that really should have been spent hanging out in bars or making questionable choices in clubs or going to student events and running into people that we didn't know or probably otherwise wouldn't talk to. And we didn't really get to do any of that. But what we did have was the opportunity to learn and see in real time how public policy and how international affairs interact in the real world and in quite an extreme time. For me, being in policy school during this time, during a worldwide pandemic, during the eruption of a global Black Lives Matter movement, during the time of conflicts such as the one happening in Colombia and the one happening in Israel and Palestine, has brought my education to life. It breathed into my statistics why each number counts and gave new meaning to the word significance. It influenced my perspective on governance and management and why diverse methods matter in a time of crisis. It brought color to my international law class. It wasn't just reading about conflict and disagreements, it was being able to see the voices behind each side and how they collide in the real world, and that there are real hearts beating behind each perspective. Last summer, the world watched as the United States protested and rioted and mourned the death of one man in a movement that changed everything. In one moment, even though this was one country, one people, one issue, I felt that the movement brought so many people together in support of a really important message, something that's been important to me my whole life. And it revived for me the reason that I was in public policy school, to advocate, to reach out, and to speak out. And so with the amazing friends that I've met here and with really passionate, incredible, smart people, I founded a new student advocacy group called SHIELD. For the family and friends that are watching, SHIELD stands for Students of Hertie, for Inclusion, Equity, Liberty, and Diversity, which is quite a mouthful, so we just call it SHIELD for short. I started this group because I noticed that here at Hertie, we didn't have something that I've had most of my adult life, which was a community and a space for people of color and diverse global origin to come together and talk about issues that matter to them. But because we are a public policy school and a school of governance, I also wanted this group to be so much more than just activism. I wanted us to be able to leverage the skills that we're learning in our classes to make change, to advocate, and to push for things to be done in a different way than they've been done before, in very real terms, with very specific suggestions. And because of that, SHIELD has become so much more than just a student club. It's become a breeding ground for what I hope our futures will be in policy and international affairs. And I also learned something really incredible from the experience, which is that people will join you if you're bold enough to take the first step. At times, it felt small, it felt silly, but the support I received from the student body, the administration, and even those outside of Hertie really taught me something real about supplementing activism with advocacy. And because of this work and because of the environment we have at the Hertie School, I've been immensely lucky to learn and grow from each of you, and I hope that you had a similar experience. Because honestly, this group of students here at Hertie is some of the most audacious people that I've ever met. And I've met people who are much more willing to speak up and speak out and voice dissent. Sometimes this meant maybe a few too many petitions and too many complaints made to the administration, but many more times this was a group of people willing to have daring, willing to say things that were unpopular, just for the chance to make a change. And even though in the real world, being cool and detached and dispassionate seems much more cool, here at Hertie, we have a different social currency, and I've really grown to appreciate and love that about this community. And because of all of you, I was able to see and learn beyond my own background. At the end of the day, I'm only one woman, and I know what it's like to be Black or biracial from a low-income family in the United States, but I don't know what it's like to be Palestinian, and I don't know what it's like to move through the world with a Colombian passport. I also don't know what it's like to move to Berlin from a place like India, but because of all of you, I was able to understand for the first time the conflict in Israel and Palestine and see the pain and the realness of what's happening there. Because of all of you, the loss of life in India and Peru felt closer and more acute. And because of all of you, the astonishment that I felt at the unrest in Colombia felt realer than ever. I have all of you to thank for opening my heart more and for opening my mind more and teaching me what the rest of the world looks like, which is exactly what I wanted. Because at the end of the day, that's how I see our roles now that we are alumni of the Hertie School of Governance. We are without a doubt extremely lucky to hold the titles of Masters of Public Policy and Masters of International Affairs. And given that luck, it's what we do with it now that really matters. And when you inevitably go off into hallowed halls and into rooms where decisions are made and stories are written, my only wish for you is that you never stop reflecting on exactly what that means to you. I hope that you can move in a way to represent the people who aren't there in that room, because they are the ones who are depending on you and on me now. And I hope that you always keep in mind that by now we should all really know none of us are free until we all are. Congratulations for what you've accomplished. We did it.
Dear graduates, dear class of 2021, dear Danielle, thank you truly for your words. I'm standing here in the very auditorium where we opened the academic year 2019-2020. We all expected that year to be a normal year at the Hertie School and in Berlin. I'm also standing between two parts of your life. Your life as a student of public policy at a policy school which went during your studies and with you through a policy crisis in real time. And your life as a graduate, as an analyst, an activist, an advisor in the world of public policy, be that at the local, national, or global level. If the crisis has taught me one thing, it is that learning will connect those two parts. Even under adversity, even when confronted with tough challenges and choices, we continued to learn together. We studied, we argued, sometimes fiercely. We explained, and as a community, we kept learning with each other and from each other constantly. Whether we were on campus talking and teaching and laughing through our masks, or whether we connected on screen. I, for one, cannot recall a period in my professional life where my learning curve has been that steep. Before your class takes to our virtual stage, let us take a moment to look back at your turbulent, sometimes testing times with us. Let's look back and thank those people who made your time at the Hertie School special and who make today's celebration possible. Your professors and guest lecturers here at the school who, like you, learned online education in their classrooms. Our student-facing service teams who work tirelessly, often behind the scenes, during the pandemic under truly tough conditions. Communications, curricular affairs, careers, digital learning, examination, student life. And of course, your families and partners, your friends and your peers, who watch today, who proudly cheer for you now, and who supported you all the way. All of us hope for a real celebration next year. But the fact that we only congratulate you virtually today makes your achievements and our pride no less real, anything but. So let's celebrate you today, your dedication, your passion, and your perseverance. Most importantly, your commitment to civic and democratic values, to arguments that are based on evidence, to making the world you go into a bit better. Dear Hertie community in Berlin and further afield, dear President Hallerberg, in that spirit and with my warmest congratulations, I present to you the class of 2021. dear graduates, dear friends of the Hertie School, the class of 2021.
Hello everyone, congratulations on graduating today. You see I'm wearing this. This is what I wore when I graduated from my master's, and I feel that this year we as faculty are also graduating along with you because you've taught us a whole new way of teaching this year. You also see I'm out in the open over here today because it's a great day, and I would like that every day from now on for you is just as great as this one.
Congratulations for your big day, students.
Hey, you did a great job, and I wish you all the best for your future and the next transitions in your life course.
You did it. You did it. You did it. You rocked it.
You all will be heroes for more than a day. And I and we will be very proud of you.
Hi, my name is Bijan Nashad and I'm a member of the Hertie School Alumni Council. I'm an MPP from the class of 2007.
Hi, my name is Anne-Marie, and I'm the Alumni Award winner from 2015. I'm an MPP graduate from the class of 2014.
My name is Joseph Ayamga, and I'm the Alumni Achievement Award winner from 2014.
Hi, my name is Kim and I'm one of the alumni chapter leads of Germany in Frankfurt.
Hi, I'm Monica Will Silva and I am the Alumni Achievement Award winner from 2018.
And I am Alumni Chapter Lead in Brussels in Belgium.
My name is Katri Bertram. I'm a member of the Hertie School Alumni Council.
My name is Moritz. I'm Chapter Lead of
the Rhineland Chapter in Germany.
And I am an Alumni Chapter Lead in New York City.
I'm very excited to welcome you.
To welcome you.
To welcome you.
To welcome you to our growing alumni network.
Our network is active all across the globe in 14 alumni chapters,
countless online events,
and opportunities to engage here in our home city of Berlin or through alumni workshops.
Stay connected with your fellow cohort through Hertie Connect.
Or even better, the Hertie Alumni app.
Our community is full of #HertieLove.
And through the app or the Hertie website, you can stay up to date on events,
research from your favorite professors,
or you can encourage the next generation of leaders here at the Hertie School.
See you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.
And many congratulations on your graduation.
Let's have a quick look at the world you are now stepping in as a new Hertie alumni. Whatever your professional orientation will be, a look at this rather strange post-COVID world, which I will describe rapidly with its challenges and its opportunities. Three major challenges and three major opportunities for the sake of today's exercise. The first major challenge, and this is a big one, which as Europeans we may not be enough aware of, is the big risk we are running on this planet of a vaccine apartheid. I will save you the numbers. The reality is that only for the moment, the rich part of humanity, the one in rich countries, in developed countries, in industrialized countries, can afford to vaccine its population by the end of this year. If nothing changes, others will have to wait 1 more year, 2 more years, 3 more years, and this is a big problem. It's a big problem for them, but it's also a big problem for us, as we all know now by heart this mantra, which is a global one, according to which nobody is really safe until everybody is safe. This is the challenge number one. It's an urgent one. A lot of us, including me, in my capacity of chair of the Paris Peace Forum, are working on that. There are plans here and there that are appearing. This is the first major urgent challenge. The second one, which is not unrelated, is to properly organize, fund, manage the economic recovery, which has to succeed the economic shock that the COVID pandemic has provoked all over on this planet. Here again, I think the major challenge is that this recovery risks to be a very uneven one, with, on the northern side, countries who have relatively solid social safety nets, which have helped them cushioning the impact of the crisis on employment, on people's lives. They have a capacity to borrow money to spend in big recovery plans. This is out of reach for many countries on this planet. So we also have a challenge to properly organize and move the international system, whether it's the UN, the IMF, the World Bank, the G7, the G20, the WHO, the WTO, in a direction that allows poorer countries not to be left aside, thus, if that was to happen, interrupting a process of economic convergence, which we know has happened for the last 30 years. So this, in my view, is the second big challenge. The third one being the ecological transition, which I think is now the main international agenda priority. And it's pretty clear, in my view, that if we don't address properly this new North-South divide, the ambience which we need for the COP26 in Glasgow or for the Kunming biodiversity COP in China this year will not be conducive to the sort of understanding, convergence, solidarity we need in order to move further, faster towards the decarbonization of this planet. There are also, in this post-COVID world, which you have to consider for your next professional steps, there are also opportunities. First one, in my view, is digitalization. We all know that this crisis has accelerated a movement which was already there before COVID of digitalization of our societies, of our lives, of our production systems. This is going to happen faster, sooner than expected. There are in this transformation lots of opportunities, not least an opportunity of a much wider, quicker distribution of knowledge, an opportunity of using artificial intelligence to take better decisions, including in areas which matter a lot for societies, like education, like health, including inequalities. So this is something which I see as potentially extremely positive. The second one is this ecological transformation, climate change, biodiversity, which I already mentioned. this is going to create lots of new economic opportunities, lots of new job opportunities, provided, of course, the shift in qualifications as compared to what was needed for the old economy is properly managed in order to take us in this new economy. This is also a major opportunity, which I think the Europeans have decided to embrace before others, which is good news, and which, in my view, take this continent, which in some respects has been lagging behind in technology, into a new future venture that is able to mobilize support by public opinions. The third big opportunity is for us Europeans what happened last year when EU countries, based on a proposal by the European Commission, which was itself based by a proposal by Germany and France, decided to embark on a new stage of integration. This did not happen without a lot of debates in Brussels, Strasbourg, and Luxembourg. We are now there, and the opportunity that this huge 750 billion next generation program offers, including to your generation, I think is something which you should grasp, seize, in order to move us quicker towards a more integrated, more united Europe, which is something which, if we had not decided with the founding fathers to start more than 70 years ago, we would have to do today. There is no way in the geoeconomic and geopolitical context of the years to come, which will be shaped by the US-China rivalry, there is no way we can hope, we Europeans, to defend our interests, to preserve our values on this planet as a specific civilizational choice, which is the one we like, without becoming stronger in order not to be caught somewhere in between US and China. And both of them have, for the moment, a power that might take us into difficult waters if one of these two wants to take us on its side. Not that we have to be equidistant from China and US. Politically speaking, we are much nearer to the US than we are to China, but in economic terms, we Europeans do not lend to the US strategy of decoupling the world economy with China the same virtues. We have to be able to play our hand, and this is what is now dubbed as open strategic autonomy, a new endeavor of Europeans to be able to run their own interests, their own values in a world where there are different ones. So it's a quick summary. It's a too rapid description, but I think it gives you a sort of sense of where you will have to navigate now that you will be leaving the Hertie School. I'm sure that what you've done at the school will help you understanding, making the right decisions. At least that's the experience we've had with previous classes. A final word to say that your 2021 class, unfortunately, did not have many occasions to interact and know Henrik Underline, who has you all know, passed away very recently. But you probably have learned about him enough to realize, as well as those of us who had been working with him for now 20 years, that he was a man of excellence, of vision, of spirit, of hard work. All these characteristics are the ones he brought to the Hertie School. This was the view he had of what the Hertie School was to be about. So he will be, I hope, a model for you all. Don't hesitate to try and know his views, his life, his behaviors better. Try and emulate Henry underline. This is the best thing which I believe you can do for your future. So congratulations again and good luck.
Class of 2021, family members, members of our Board of Trustees, our Supervisory Board, our faculty, our alumni, our administrative team, and of course, friends of the Hertie School. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate our graduating class. We are immensely proud of our graduates and look forward to celebrating their accomplishments and contributions as alumni in the years ahead. So see you soon and best wishes. Congratulations.
1, 2, 1. Don't mind the raindrops, wait till the rain stops. Lose all your blues, laughing at life. No road is lonely, if you would only smile through your tears, laughing at life. Don't live for tomorrow, be happy today. Cast all your sorrow away. Oh, lean back and cheer up, the skies wanna clear up. Lose all your blues, laughing at rot do 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 day. Rat do rat do day. Rat da do rat do day do da rat da da do da rat do day. Rabba dap dap do day. Radap dap rabba dap da do day. Rat da do rat do day. Radat dat radat dat radat da rabba dap da ra. Rabba dabba 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 rap dap dap do day. Rabba dabba 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 rap dabba dap do day. Oh, rat tat rat dabba dabba da do day. Rat tat rat da 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 do day. Rat tat rat da da do day. Rabba dabba dap day. Don't mind it, don't fight it, just wait on, wait on, wait on. Ba-dap, dap, da, ba, da, ba, da, da, da. A dubbity dop, a dubbity dop, a dubbity dop, a dubbity dop. There's no lonely road unless you're sighing and crying. Ra-ba, ra-da-ba-dap, dap. So take off your shoes, quit the blues, my honey, and laugh for your sorrows away. Ra-dap, dap, da-dap, da. Ra-dap, dap, da-dap, da. Drip, 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 drip. If the rain bye-bye, my darling. Get rid of the nasty blues. Do the rabbit, do the rabbit, do the rabbit, do the rap.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Nochmal. 1,
Congratulations.
2, 3.
Congratulations from the Railers.
Nein, es muss noch mehr Energie haben. Sorry, es geht nicht. Nochmal, ich mach's mal.
Warte mal, lass mal
Probier's mal.
Ja, du sagst es mal.
Ja.
Congratulations from the Railers.
Wow.
I'm convinced. Okay, danke.